Lakers didn't win the game tonight. I did my review and it'll upload in its own time. But I figured I'd go live and just kind of do a little bit of a reaction. Um, Processing times on these videos take just as long as it takes for my other videos to process. I think they're literally slowing me down. So, if anything, I just want to do two videos just for those who want to hear my initial reaction, since that video likely isn't going to be uploaded anytime soon. But late game execution, man, against the Denver Nuggets. How many times have we seen the Denver Nuggets beat us in the last 2 minutes of a basketball game? It's just kind of how it goes. You play a close game with them, you fight to the dog end, in the final 3 minutes, they just hit shots. It's the same thing they did against us in all four of the Western Conference Finals games last year. And this just felt like a carryover from that. I just think what it really comes down to is if you're going to go up against the Denver Nuggets, you have to be able to execute well on both sides of the floor. And when you let them out rebound you by 11, uh, you don't shoot very well throughout the course of the game. If you're going to have a close game, you go up against a guy like Jamal Murray, you got to know that's his gift in this world, is to hit shots down the stretch of basketball games, to steal momentum from the road crowd, to silence anyone who's otherwise booing him. He has that gene, that same gene that our guy, Kobe Bryant, had. We used to see him do this to teams all the time, and they would come with so much momentum, play so well, and they would be so helpless against him because he would execute so incredibly perfect down the stretch of games. And I thought Jamal Murray just kind of gave us a bit of that tonight, man. It was disheartening. That's what this felt like to your boy. Extremely, extremely disheartening. But I thought we found some things tonight that we were really excited about. I thought we found something in Jamal Murray, in Hayes and Hayes. That's what I want to say. Hayes and Mays. That's who I'm trying to refer to. Those guys were extremely helpful tonight with their energy. You could tell they had fresh legs, given the fact that they haven't played very much. And I think we found something with those two, man. Hayes and Mays. Hopefully, coach can get Mays on the floor for more than 6 minutes, since he was playing so well. You just want to see us kind of turn to him a little more now that we know Max Christie is probably going to miss a couple games with the rolled ankle. That thing looked pretty severe to me. D'Lo, I'm not really sure what the situation is there, but all in all, I just wonder if we can get Skylar some minutes, man, because he looked fantastic out there. And of course, Jackson Hayes, boy, has he come along strong over the last 5 games, man. I mean, we just can't even put a price tag on what he was giving us out there tonight. Even though in the plus minus he looked like he had like a -4 or something like that. His 9.6 rebounds, 2 blocks. I mean, all of that was, it didn't even tell the story. He was so much more impactful than that. And so I was really proud of those two. And I think we can run with that. Mays and Hayes, Hayes and Mays. You know, there's a lot of different ways. Amazing Hayes. Like, there's so many different things was going through my head as they were lobbing the ball to one. As Skylar was lobbing the ball to Jackson. It's so marketable, man. It's so marketable. So definitely love those two out there. I thought Torian Prince played so very well tonight, and you know I'm not a big Torian Prince guy, but since we brought him off the bench, he's been playing much better. And tonight, I thought that he played one of his best games of the season for us. We didn't ask him to do too much. We did have him on Jamal Murray at times, stuff like that, but I thought he played fantastic. That behind the back block, I don't know how to call that, but it's reach around block on Jokic, I thought was phenomenal. Some of the shots that he made, driving to the basket off the bank, I thought all of that was really, really good. And I don't get to sing Torian's praises too much because I'm too busy complaining about how he's on the floor too much, doing too much. But since we've moved him to the bench, he's been doing all the little things and the big things that we need him to do, shooting the ball well, making plays on both sides of the floor, and he just looks like his best self. And I just want to see us continue to use him in this role with confidence because he's playing well in it. Um, Unfortunately, I can't say all great things because Austin Reeves, we had a rough night, man. We had a rough night. He did not execute well, cheating on that last steal attempt, leaving a wide open corner shooter off a Jokic pass. It's something to be said for Jokic when you got to know he has eyes in the back of his head, man. So you're not going to be able to just, kind of catch him off guard and steal the ball from him like that. He's going to see you coming, and then he's going to get the ball to the person you're leaving open, and that person is likely a gifted scorer because that's just what they have on this team. As I told you guys, though, the Denver Nuggets, if you look at the score, it would not have taken 120 points to beat them.
I don't know what that means as it pertains to what they're going to do in the playoffs, but I have a weird feeling that they're not going to win the championship this year unless they up their scoring somehow. The ones that they can count on can execute extremely well, but some of the other dudes like Pierre Watson, Christian Braun, Reggie Jackson, they're not hitting shots like that. And while they were able to keep it close against a team like us that doesn't score very much, when you start going up against them real scoring teams, I don't know if Denver in a 7 game series is going to be able to keep up with some of these elite scoring teams. And they may end up getting knocked off by somebody who can drop 130 points on them. It depends on how well their defense translates against good offense. We're not that great of an offense, and we were missing D'Lo, who's been playing very well. We ran rotations out there we probably wouldn't run very much because of it. I don't know that Denver scores like that, man. So let me be the first one to say this. Denver still has the clutch gene, and they showed us just how serious they are in late game situations. But if for some reason a team blows the door open in the first 3 quarters, I don't know that Denver can keep up with everybody who can score a lot. So OKC's a big time scoring team. Boston's a big time scoring team. Um, those are the Clippers are big time scoring teams. If those teams drop 130, 135 points, they probably gonna beat Denver. It's gonna take that type of shooting, but I don't know that Denver can keep up with it unless they're getting huge scoring games from the 5 players that they can count on to score the ball. Because everybody else, nah, man, you saw it in the 3rd quarter. They weren't hitting shots like that, you guys. So I see a little bit of a chink in Denver's armor, and I don't think too many people are gonna see that. But if you look at their last, say, 10 games, they ain't really been scoring enough to keep up with the real scoring teams this season. The West has gotten significantly better, and I don't know that they are who they need to beat everybody. They definitely who they need to beat us because they got a formula that beats us. But some of these teams that are just known for scoring, lethal scoring, I'm not sure, man. I'm telling you, I'm not sure. So that's something that I'm just paying attention to. But as far as beating us, they just got our number. I don't even know what to tell y'all, man. No matter how much momentum we have, Jamal Murray, if he sees purple and gold, regardless if he's home or on the road, he's gonna score on that team. It just seems like that's what it is. And Jokic can do whatever at all times. We know that. Speaking of which, and that's a double entendre for that dude. You can't even whistle in his direction without them calling a foul. He can slide all over the floor, trip your guy. We saw a lot of questionable officiating tonight. The foul that they overturned against Braun, they said that Aaron Gordon didn't foul him. If you look at Aaron Gordon's left arm as it was on Braun's stomach, you could clearly see that's a foul. How they went back and looked at that and did not call that a foul was just beyond me. I did not like what I saw in that way. Jokic and the Denver guys really benefited quite a bit from questionable officiating to me, even though, of course, we got to the line more. We always see that. But nah, that was a little questionable to me, man. I'm not really loving what I saw there. Um, what else? What else? It was so much to see, man. If y'all watch the video that I'm trying to upload now, you're gonna see where I was a little upset at Braun's body language and ultimately late game execution. I wasn't in love with what I saw from the King tonight. I know the stats tell you he was good. It wasn't like he wasn't active. It wasn't like he wasn't hitting shots. But some of the plays down the last 3 minutes of the game, if we look at what went wrong, he had a few of his own that went wrong. He wasn't the only one. We know Austin did some things wrong. We had a missed shot from AD that we love to have back, some turnovers, some bad defense, and give credit to the other team, of course. But there were some things down there where Braun did the fumble in the last 3 minutes, that turnaround fadeaway that we would had when we were down by I think 3. They came down and ran it up by 5. I mean, we just couldn't survive those plays. We couldn't survive those. That's what we mean by late game execution. You can't go up against a killer team like this, full of lethal shooters and lethal late game execution players, and have those type of plays down the stretch of the basketball game. You're just not gonna win, man. You're not gonna win, and that was the problem that we had against Denver throughout the course of the Western Conference Finals. Those were the moments. Those were the moments when they would hit shots, and we would come down and brick a AD floater, or brick a Bron three, or brick a Austin three. It just cannot take place against this specific team. Other teams you may be able to get away with it, but these guys down the stretch of the last 3 minutes, they're going to hit shots in ways that most teams don't. They're a bunch of, dare I say, mambas. That's just how they operate, especially Jamal Murray. They're going to hit shots, man. So that's really what I think kills us against them every time, is that lack of killer instinct and that lack of late game execution, where you're just laser focused in the last 2 minutes. You need that type of talent, that type of killer instinct. You need that trait against the Denver Nuggets, and I just don't think we have it as a team. I don't think our leaders have that most of the time. We got to find it. If we want to play this team in the way that we did, we're going to have to find that, man. So, it was frustrating down the stretch. We did some great things, and like I said in my previous video that you'll see, in the first 9 minutes of the fourth quarter, I thought we were really doing some good things that kept us up with those guys. But in that last 2 minutes, it was just very, very difficult for us to execute, and it was very, very simple for them to do so because that's just their superpower as a unit. So, very tough stuff, man. That was my take on it. I just wanted to give y'all an extra take on this basketball game, since that other video is not going to upload anytime soon. You're going to hear me complain a lot. But I think at the end of the day, I am proud of what it is we found. And I think we can carry over a lot of positive things from this game into tomorrow's game against the Pelicans, which will be at 7:30 here in Los Angeles. So the Pelicans are also a team that's playing very well right now. Brandon Ingram's coming off a game where he had like 6 threes or something like that. He had one of his best career games about 2 games ago. So we got to be ready for them. And don't get a lot of time to think about this one. So that's really what it is. I like what I saw from our role players tonight, man. It was more good than bad from the Laker role guys, and I just wish we could have captured this victory so we could have talked about them a lot more than we're probably going to. But Hayes and Mays, Prince, Wood, they really showed up, man. And Anthony Davis, I thought, was really phenomenal defensively, specifically steals and blocks, rebounds. You just can't put a price tag on that. And I want to give Bron more credit. Scoring, especially 25 points, several a steal, a block, rebounds and assists. He filled up the box score as always. But it was just something about his energy tonight that just left me feeling like I needed something else. And that's just how I got to put it. I don't know how else to put it. He just left me feeling like he wasn't with us 100% tonight, like he was upset. And if I'm to speculate, maybe upset about us not making trades, maybe upset, who knows. But it just felt like he didn't have his body language as sharp as you wanted to see it tonight. And so down the stretch of a basketball game against Jokic and Jamal, that cannot be. That just can't be. So he'll make it up to us. I know he will. He'll snap out of this. And I'll say this to the King directly. If you're not really pleased about the fact that we didn't make trades, I want you to know that I'm feeling good about what we have more so than I did when we last talked about it, because I'm finding something out of Jackson Hayes. I'm finding something out of Skylar Mays. I'm finding something out of Max Christie. We have Torian now playing a different role. I think these are the type of things that can bring more out of what it is that you have. One of the things that frustrates me a lot of times is thinking that we need to do more in order to get better. When I've seen us win big games, I've seen us win an in-season tournament where we were basically flawless the whole thing. You just got to use players in a way that gets the most out of them. And we're finding stuff out of guys that we didn't know was there. And that's something that you need to find when you don't make trades. That's something that you need to have happen when you're in a space where you don't have assets to really make the deals you want to make. You need guys to raise their value in-house. And that's what we're seeing, is guys getting better with the playing time that they're getting. Guys we picked up showing us they can do something. And so I would tell Bron, like, it was a moment out there where I felt like he was frustrated, and it gave me the understanding that maybe he's frustrated because we didn't get better. But if he look around and see what's going on the floor, he'll realize we literally are getting better. It's almost as if we did make trades because you're finding stuff in guys that you didn't know was there. And so that's just the vibe that I took from it. Obviously, he's LeBron, so he's closer to the team. He knows what these guys can do. But I think guys are getting better, and I think we can utilize some of these things that we're finding in these players in ways that maybe as we were assessing the trades we needed to make, maybe we are seeing things that we didn't know we had. And maybe it wasn't as necessary to make those trades. We just need to utilize these players differently. So that's what I'm saying to you guys. I'm much more hopeful that we can get better based on what I saw tonight and what I've seen over the last 6 games, especially with Jackson Hayes. I mean, who knew he was capable of any of this? It wasn't me. But now that he's playing this way, I just want to see him get more minutes, and I'm starting to gain more confidence that he can help us, especially the way he was offensive rebounding and tipping the ball and things like that down the stretch tonight. It was showing me why he was a lottery pick once upon a time. So just got to keep getting him the ball, man. He was active, making plays, scoring the ball, and just giving our team second chance points. And something else I want to say, Anthony Davis's passing is a revelation this year. The way that he's found ways of getting others involved, the way that he plays, makes passes. That interior bounce pass that he had, I believe it was to Christian Wood. It was so much defense surrounding that pass, and he still found ways of being as patient as necessary to make the play to get the ball as an and one was given to Christian Wood. I just think his passing is another one of those anomalies. I almost liken it to when Brook Lopez started shooting threes some random year after being in the league for like 7 years. That's the way I'm looking at Anthony Davis's three passing ability. I didn't know he even had this in him, and now he's passing as good as anybody. So it's like, if we can continue to find these little things, we can be better than we expected to be without having made any moves. I think Spencer Dinwiddie could still be on the way. Maybe Marcus Morris might want to choose us. There's some other guys who can possibly get bought out. Maybe we can do some things that can make our team a little more full. But what I'm seeing in the guys who are playing are things I didn't even know were there. And when it comes to Anthony Davis passing, I mean, it's an absolute anomaly, man. So I want to see him on the floor more with Christian Wood. I felt like he and Christian Wood have been showing some synergy over the last several games that I think most of us believed was there. But Darvin hadn't used him very much. But I'm seeing them play off one another in ways that I like. And like I said, Torian off the bench has been fantastic for us, and I just want to see him continue to have confidence in that role. Hopefully, we can get Max back healthy very soon. I don't expect him to play tomorrow, of course, but because we're being forced to play other guys, we're going to see what they can do, man. And I think we're going to be much better in the second half of the season than we were in the first, based on these things that I'm seeing here. So that's important, man. Just have a little faith is what I would tell Bron. That's essentially what I'm saying. Just have a little faith, bro. Because while you're upset that our team didn't make certain trades, if you're going to come back next year, you're going to want us to have the flexibility necessary to make our team even better. And in the meantime, we're celebrating a guy like Kobe Bryant, who ran around with some of the worst players you can ever imagine being in a Laker uniform. And he made it work. He made it work. Sometimes we won, sometimes we didn't. But sometimes you can't make trades. Sometimes you can't ask the organization to just bring you everything you need so you can have the best possible roster around you. Sometimes you just got to take it on your shoulders and drag a team where it needs to go. And I've seen LeBron drag teams for years and years and years. I need him to continue to believe that he can do it now, especially with a running mate like AD, who really can't hold down the load on both sides of the floor. So it's like, if we don't have enough, it's not because we can't do it. It's because we need you to believe that we can and then force it to happen, because you guys are the superstars. Role players are going to be role players, but there's no guarantee role players even going to be healthy even if you get the ones you want. It's going to be the superstars that lead us there, and y'all got to play off one another and make those other guys better and keep that confidence high in those other guys, whether they're the ones you want or not. And that's why I wanted LeBron James to be a little sharper. Play off of Jackson Hayes. Play off of Skylar Mays the way that they were playing tonight. He should have been as focused as every night, as if he had the best role players on the floor ever, because the guys that he had were playing at the highest level they could give him. And it's almost like because he didn't really believe in them, he didn't match the energy they were bringing tonight. And that's what I took from it. I don't know if anybody else saw that, but that is what I saw tonight. He wasn't into it, and they were showing him that they had it. And so, as a result, we lost. It wasn't that simple, but if you look at what I saw, it really did have a lot to do with it. We just needed Bron and Austin specifically to play to the matching level of what those other role players were providing, man. And so, yeah, man, I wonder what other people have to say about this game. I'm gonna go check out some of those other speakers out there, man. See what everybody's vibes are on this game. But I just wanted to give y'all 2 videos on this one. Give y'all a real insight as to how I saw this basketball game. I love the ceremony. I don't know if that video is uploaded or not, but I made a video on that ceremony, and I gave it the date today, and then I put the snake on there so y'all can see what I thought of that. And I encourage everybody to check out everything I've done today, man. We've been doing some hard work, trying to, go with this trade deadline and the Kobe Day and the Denver game. We've been at it all day long, and I thank everybody for rocking with me throughout this process, man. I do what I love, man, and I definitely love this team. Go Lakers, BDF 44, RIP Kobe Bryant. Peace.